Yo, what is up, guys? Shinobi here, back again with another video for you guys. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again with more Honkai Star Rail. And it looks like we have a update for 3.2. Now, it don't look good based off the title alone. Castorice and Anaxa, the new characters that are supposed to be released for the anniversary, look like, from what I've seen, are going to be absolutely cracked. Which, I mean, anniversary characters are going to end up being more broken anyways. But from what I'm hearing, the specifically this Castorice character does everything: heals, buffs, all of the above. So I mean, that's pretty bad if that's the case, because that pretty much unbalances the game. Because the main balance of the game was obviously the paths. Then you had the archetypes being DPS, support, tank, all that. And this character is just bypassing all of that, just bypassing it all completely. Like, crazy work if you ask me. But either way, I don't know too much, so we're gonna watch this video. It just came out. I just saw it, so hey, we're gonna see what's going on.
If you've seen my last couple of videos, you'd know that I was talking about how when 3.2 comes out, it's going to be a show that Star Rail will not recover from, and for a couple specific reasons. Now, I'm not talking about story quality or event quality or anything of the sort, because quite frankly, if March isn't in the story or the event, I probably don't care about it, so I'm not going to criticize it.
Shit, that's based. Hell, I could say that's based. That's like right now with Genshin shit. Unless I see Dainslift pop up, you ain't gonna see me while playing that game in Genshin Impact. Because they could be doing a whole lot with Dainslift and they ain't doing nothing with him, even though they have dead patches that could easily make content with him. But digress. Hell, we still don't know much about March's past.
I'm here to discuss something more important to me. The kids of Castorice and Anaxa, along with basically everything from V1 of the 3.2 betas, are out right now. And I gotta say, it is not looking good for the future of this game. I've talked about rule-breaking kit designs in Star Rail before, and also about how they market their game very unsustainably, and they're doubling down heavily with Castorice and Anaxa's kits. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the broken parts about Castorice and Anaxa, without actually showing any gameplay if you're worried about spoilers, and why them being broken is very obviously bad for the game. We've got a lot to talk about today, so strap in.
This how it
So if
go
you want
well.
a really quick TLDR of what's going on in the beta so far, I'm just going to say that it's gonna get a whole lot worse before it gets any better at all, because we don't even have any info about character buffs yet. Now, as I said, I'm not going to show any gameplay, and I'm also not going to show any images that would be against Hoyo's TOS, because I
Yeah,
don't want to
bro gets
potentially get
striked.
struck by
Yeah,
them. So if you
bro
want to
gets
find
striked.
anything about the betas, go join the Express Train Discord server, and we'll have you covered there. Now, Castorice and Anaxa are very broken and very unbalanced. Now, I already spoke about this in a previous video about rule-breaking kits, and while you should definitely go watch that, I'll briefly summarize it here. Honkai Star Rail is supposed to have two rules or two standards the characters have to follow when it comes to its combat and gameplay, and those are the characters' paths and their elemental types.
Yep.
However, when it comes to most characters that Star Rail has been releasing after 2.0, almost every new character has been getting increasingly broken because they break either a path rule or an elemental type rule.
Basically, so you got Firefly that pretty much puts fire weakness on everybody. So so you don't even gotta worry about fire weakness because you can put it on everybody. And then Archeron basically just shreds right through it. She gets like a 20% shred, defense shred specifically. Now it doesn't spread to the other units, but still that's pretty nuts. And then, if I'm correct, Fei Shao does the same exact thing, kind of, but it's like single target damage. Still
So
broken
one of
though.
the biggest factors for power creep in Honkai Star Rail isn't necessarily raw damage numbers, but the fabrication of increase of raw damage numbers through breaking the rules of the game. This rule-breaking kit design standard also has the side effect of being very predatory and making players feel forced to pull for many new characters. Characters that broke these gameplay rules range from Acheron to Firefly to Fei Xiao, and that group now includes Anaxa and Castorice as well. Castorice also breaks another rule that I haven't really mentioned in the last video. Now, she is a remembrance unit, as all of us probably know, and she is supposed to be the newest, strongest DPS unit in the game because she's a DPS unit that's the anniversary character.
Yep, which
However,
makes sense.
alongside being the newest, strongest DPS unit in the game, She's also one of the strongest support units in the game and also one of the strongest healers in the game.
which is
Because
insane.
not only does she apply 25% reduced all
Alright, let's read this. Okay, 3.2 beta, Dread Dragon Politics Memo Sprite. Summons the Memo Sprite Dead Dragon and advances its action by 100%. At the same time, creates the territory of Lost Netherland, which decreases all enemies' type resistance by 10%, 25 in parentheses. If damage boost effect from Castorice's talent is active, the effect is extended to Dead Dragon. Dead Dragon has 140 speed and a set max equal to 100% of the Stamina Nova. The fact that it has 140 speed is crazy because that means you don't got to worry about speed tuning because you want your characters apparently to be 130 and above. But the fact that she does all type resistance by 25% has like that's a crazy decrease. That is a crazy decrease.
type resistance to all enemies on the field when her Memo Sprite is active, but also grants a 10% damage
So 10% damage dealt by all allies. Okay, so she's a buffer too. Yep.
boost to all allies through another part of her kit, and also when you pull Castorice on your
So after attaining Castorice or Castorice's in current team receive following effect. In battle, when an allied character receives killing blow, all allies that received a killing blow in this action will enter the lunar cocoon state. Characters in the lunar cocoon state delay becoming down and can take one action normally. After the action, if they receive healing or have a shield before the next turn, lunar cocoon is removed. Otherwise, they will be downed immediately. This effect can be triggered one time per battle. So basically, this is like the effect that you saw in the new Pokemon games, specifically with the remakes for Diamond and Pearl, where if your Pokemon has a giant affection for you, then they will tough it out if they get hit by a critical hit and it will basically not die. Like, I've had it where I had a Lucario when I was going through and doing a Nuzlocke. And my Lucario was going against I'm pretty sure it was somebody, I think it was Garchomp. And the Garchomp, obviously being Cynthia's, hit me with the Earthquake. Now, instead of Lucario going down, he instead went down to HP, and then a heart pops up showing that he toughed it out for you. You know, Garchomp tried to hit me again. I stayed at 1 HP because it did it again. So I just got really lucky. And it looks like this is kind of the same effect. Only difference is, well, I mean, you only get one time where this happens. If you don't put a shield or heal on the next turn, then you're kind of cooked. But even still, with characters like Aventurine that are in the game, you don't even have to worry about that. Because Aventurine, you can just throw your shields on and boom, you're good. So this basically replaces Bailu completely. Like, you don't even play Bailu anymore because this character exists. The only reason you had to play Bailu before was because of the fact that you could basically help your characters not die or you could revive them. But now, good luck. And I mean, Bailu was already useless anyways, but this also power creeps pretty much every other healer in the game. You gotta think about Castorice right now, from what I'm seeing, is looking like the ultimate attack, defense, heal, support character. Like, you basically got all three in one, which is nuts.
your account, you get a free revive for every single character, whether or not Castorice is actually on the team or not.
And how much you want to bet that Trippy is probably her best support character to go with her? Because from what I've heard, Trippy is also really busted as a supporter.
A character that is supposed to be a main DPS has no business buffing up the entire party.
Yeah.
Especially when it's such an insanely overpowered and broken buff, or debuff in the case of Castorice, as all-type resistance shred. We've seen main DPS characters do this before, but in those cases it's less severe.
And it only applies to themselves. When you have all type shred with Acheron and Herta, it only applies to those two. It doesn't apply to the whole team. That whole thing with Castorice is nuts.
Acheron only reduces 20% all-type resistance when it comes to her own ultimate, and it does not affect her teammates at all. And even if it did, most of her viable teammates don't even do that much damage. Herta gives herself and her teammates 80% crit damage when there are 2 erudition units on the field, and while that choice is most definitely put there so you're forced to pull a really strong erudition unit for her like Anaxa, but we'll get to him later, it definitely wasn't needed because Herta can do millions of damage effortlessly anyway, and all it will do is increase HP inflation. Although 80% crit damage still isn't as significant of a buff, or again, debuff in this case, as Castorice reducing all-type resistance by 25%.
And see, you know what the problem with this is? And he mentioned earlier, he was talking about HP inflation. These new broken characters are basically going to make the old characters that they said that they're going to buff completely obsolete. Because if I'm correct, they still are going to buff these older characters while releasing this broken one. But the problem is this character is going to be so broken that they're going to have to increase the HP again, which I hope they don't do, because a lot of people have been complaining about MLC 10, including the Chinese community. But if they do that, it's going to be in response to this new character being absolutely insanely broken, which means that the buffs they're going to give to the newer characters will be completely useless. It won't help them catch up, because guess what? If they increase the HP again to the point where only the newer OP characters are able to clear MLC 10 or hell MLC 12, whatever it may be, it's just a moot point. It basically cancels out the fact. It just cancels it out, the whole effect of buffing the whole characters, because now you still got the same problem where they are basically useless. And I hope that's not the case, but from what I'm seeing, there is a pattern going on here, and it does not look good. It does not look good, because basically what I'm getting at is this is they're gonna release these two characters. People are gonna summon for them, even though they're broken as hell. And then after that, what's going to end up happening is, because these characters are so broken, they're going to increase the HP to match what these characters' damages can do, which then in turn makes the buffs that they're going to give to the older characters back from 1.0 all the way up to 2.0, maybe even 3.0, because they need a buff too. Or not 3.0, but yeah, no, 2.0. And then it's just going to be the same cycle. Like, I hope they don't do that, but it's looking like they will.
And she's a main DPS unit, not a support unit. Her best teammate by far is Tribi.
Yeah, I called that.
Those two, you have 49% resistance penetration, which means that not only can you use them anywhere in the game, whether the enemies are single.
And you know what this is going to mean? Is basically, if you want to play this character at her full potential, you need Tribi. And the reason why I'm saying this is because also with the HP inflation, you're going to need Tribi to get that 47, resist, or shred, my bad. So then you can just do your OP damage. Like, it's all around bad if they do that. But that's once again, there's a pattern.
That they get an absolutely unfair damage boost when it comes to enemies that
there's a pattern.
Weak. It was already going to be the strongest team in the game without Castorice's 25% resistance penetration. Trust me. She's an anniversary character, they're gonna make her strong.
Yeah.
And power creep her when the next character comes out. Although, Anaxa's kit is honestly a show, I'm not going to lie. It's probably the kit in the game that throws balance out of the window the farthest and spits in the face of anyone who has the gall to think that this game would have any semblance of quality character kit design. So Anaxa has this little cool thing in his kit where he can apply all weaknesses in the game.
Wait. So this is basically a better Silver Wolf? Each time Anaxa attacks an enemy target one time, inflicts random type weakness to. It's a better Silver Wolf. It is Silver Wolf, but better. Inflicts one random type weakness to the targets, lasting for 3 turns with priority to the weakness type that the target is yet to have. When Anaxa is on the battlefield, he inflicts the exposed nature state to enemy targets with at least 5 different type weaknesses. Holy shit. Anaxa deals 48%, 96% more damage to the targets in exposed nature state. Holy crap. In addition, using a basic attack or skill on targets in exposed nature state allows him to, it's cut off, but basically this is a better Silver Wolf.
If it does not reduce their resistances to those elements, it still leaves them susceptible to getting toughness broken by any weakness he applies. And even if you're the kind of person to not think that weakness implants are very
this is a better Silver Wolf.
You don't have to look far to notice that Anaxa.
The necessary blinkness, based on the number of characters on the path of erudition in the team, triggers the corresponding effects in the current battle. Increases Anaxa's crit damage by 100 and whoa! So you basically need this character to run with Herta, and then you basically win the game. Oh my lord. Oh my fucking god, bro. You know what they're gonna do, right? I might be wrong. Hey, I might be smoking something, but you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna probably release some sort of fucking. No. I think the Honkai Star Rail / the Fate Stay Night collab is in October. My bad. I was about to say, but if they didn't announce that, you know what they probably would do after this? Is after people are done spending all their money and summoning for these OP characters, you know exactly what they would do. This would be the bait banner, and then you come out with the Fate / Night characters, and then people would have to spend more money because they ain't got no pools left. Jesus Christ.
Anaxa also gives himself 140% crit damage, and the whole party a 25% damage boost, which the former is more crit damage than any support unit in the game could ever achieve.
Holy crap, bro.
Damage boost would struggle to increase a character's crit damage by 140, and the latter is a team-wide 25% extra damage if there are 2 erudition units, because why the f not? Also, I still haven't touched up enough on the fact that whoever pulls for Castorice gets a free revive on all of the characters in their account, regardless of whether or not Castorice is in the team. So if you pull for Castorice and then not even use her whatsoever, you get a free revive once every battle and every single piece of content forever, no matter what. This is obviously very broken for many reasons that I really
That
hope
is
I don't have to lecture
insane.
you about. It's just more stuff that they put into her kit in hopes they entice players to spend on her.
That's basically like you don't even gotta spend. You basically this is like Acheron all over again. Like you need to pull this character. This is the character you need to have. Like if you do not have this character, you're basically cooking your account. That's what I'm getting from this. That is literally what I'm getting from this. Because at this point, she's useful whether you use her or not. Holy
Without
crap,
thinking
bro.
about the balance of the game, which is just more unsustainable marketing they're doing, which I also explained in depth why it is bad. Basically, even if someone does not like Castorice and doesn't want to play her, they're still very incentivized to pull for her
Yeah.
because she gives everyone, whether or not they even use Castorice or not, a free revive.
And honestly, with how broken she is, why wouldn't you use her? She's literally everything. She's like Ichigo, bro. She got the Fullbringer. She got the Fullbringer. She got the Hollow. She got the Soul Reaper, the Quincy abilities, all in one package. Only difference is Ichigo is getting nerfed by his shit, and this character, hell, even if you don't use him, is just broken as hell.
That isn't balanced. Oh, and I just want to insert this after the initial recording of the script. I just kind of forgot to include this. These are obviously V1 kids, but
Yeah, but that's not gonna matter. Even if they do nerf these characters down a bit, which they probably won't nerf them at all, it's like, bro, that is still insane.
regardless of their multipliers and numbers, the foundations of these kits are still uselessly broken. They're not going to remove Castorice's resistance penetration. They're not going to remove Anaxa applying all weaknesses in the game. I hope they do, but they've never changed the foundation of a kit so heavily, so I doubt it. I still hope they do, but I doubt it. Either way, let's
Jesus
continue.
Christ, man.
Now, regardless of the free revive, both of these units having such insane kits damage-wise for no reason is obviously a problem, and I've explained it briefly both in this video and in the rule-breaking kits video. However, there is a little extra thing to add here, and that is, a lot of people are going to talk about character buffs offsetting this, but those people would also be involved in some incredibly wishful thinking. First things first, if you think that they're going to make Zila anywhere comparable to even someone like Acheron, let alone Castorice, you're setting yourself up to be incredibly disappointed. Second, if they do make older units sufficiently viable to the point where they don't feel bad to play in endgame content like they do right now, it wouldn't matter, because not only will Castorice still power creep them because she does triple their damage with her 49 resistance penetration with her best team, but the characters after her will undoubtedly have increasingly broken kits, as what has been happening with this game over the past year. I was really hoping that they wouldn't make these new characters unnecessarily broken, because I promise you they would sell even better if you made them simply balanced than if you were to make them very overpowered, because people don't like feeling forced to pull for anything. I'm more than convinced that by the end of the 3.x update, even though he is not a Herdabot specifically, Anaxa will be what Jiaozhou is to Acheron or what Robin is to Fei Xiao, and will be basically the only thing saving her from becoming a T0.5 or even T1 unit, because Castorice, Phynon, and their support units, and also whatever else DPS unit they release, would triple her damage otherwise. I'm also really not excited to listen to any of the people doom posting the shit out of both of these two characters because they want broken units. I've already seen some people doom post the fact that Castorice doesn't have 100% uptime, and that's kinda ridiculous. I guarantee
She
you some
doesn't
people are
need
going
it.
to find some other nitpicks about
Bruh, she's
Castorice's kit
already
and start
cracked.
calling her ass and not worth it and worse than Herda by a mile because of some small thing. And then
Bro,
some other
from what I've heard, if anybody is even bothering to say that after everything I've heard, you're an idiot. You are an absolute idiot. Castorice literally does the job of every character in one. And then Anaxis literally is a team-wide buff if you run Herda and him together. Including all the other shit that he has. Like, what are we talking about? These two characters are going to be two of the most broken characters in the game. And one of them is pretty much a must-have. What are we talking about?
other guy is going to somehow try and explain how Anaxa is worse than Jade. We've already seen Tribi get so heavily doom posted after V5 that they had to hotfix her and give her a buff that she would have been perfectly fine, but also still very powerful unit without. Endgame is definitely the most important factor for me when it comes to most games. As I said in the intro, if the story and events don't have March, I probably don't care about them. I won't say that 3.2 is going to suck just because I don't care for the story. The story is probably going to be great, especially if they do implement the changes they said they were going to. However, what a
Shit,
lot
we'll
of people
see.
overlook when it comes to a new update quality is actually character balance. New characters being balanced is insanely important, and with Star Rail, almost every single new character has to be an upgrade over the previous one, and it just gets insanely tedious to keep up with, especially when not only does the game not give you enough resources to do so, but sometimes you just want to sit with your favorite characters you got back in 1.x and clear the content, and in this game, you just can't, even sometimes if you do have their best support units, and that just doesn't feel good. And I have more to say about this topic and many other topics as well, but I'm going to leave it to the next video. For now, this is going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the next video that's coming soon. But I have a very strong feeling that if you're looking specifically for Star Rail content, you probably shouldn't subscribe because if 3.2 continues going this way, I'm out of here. I'm becoming a variety channel instead. Either way, you should join the...
Honestly, being a variety channel is the way to go anyways. Let's be real. If you're sticking with one game only, especially if you're in the gacha space, you're doing it wrong. Because you never know when the company will come and do some stuff like this, especially Hoyoverse. They've been known for doing stuff like this. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, we'll see. From what I'm seeing here, oh man. This is also another reason why I don't summon on every single banner that drops, because I know how Hoyoverse does their freaking games. Zenless on Zero is the only one so far that hasn't seemed like it's really power creepy. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you got Withering Waves just being absolutely perfect with what they've been doing. But man, yeah, it looks like they're really leaning into, we are going to make you wail for this game if you want a complete endgame. Which is so dumb. But hey, I mean, shit. I digress. I mean, we'll see how it goes. But we already seen that Tribi is kind of OP. And considering she needs to go with Castorice in order for Castorice to, do all the shred damage that she needs to do, it's kind of like they're forcing you to try and pull for Tribi, because then you can get Castorice afterwards. And then just clear the game. I don't know. Either way, I think that's pretty much going to be it for me. I honestly don't know what to say after that. That's pretty much it. Yeah, now I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave your comments down below. Leave your thoughts down below. All that good stuff, yada, yada, yada. Man, I don't know what they're trying to cook up in there, bro.